Welcome, 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 my friends, to this week's podcast. And I have got Zita joining me today, who has been a client of mine, we think, since November. I probably should have checked up the facts before I actually got on to have this conversation. But Zita and I were just playing with our filters. So if you're watching on Zoom, I put on the profile, what was it called? Profile something. So it's I'm wondering if my lighting is a bit more juju and a bit more posh than normal. But it's really funny because if you are looking on YouTube, I'm just going to show you the reality. My background actually looks quite fairly decent. And then if I actually move out the way and move my thing down, then I have the reality of life, which is my son's big, huge Snorlax teddy that he's sleeping on down here whilst we decorate his lounge. So this is the realities of life, isn't it? Your professional image and then the reality of life behind you. So we've just been having fun with that. But the reason why I invited Zita on today is because she's been a client of mine for just over 7 months now, 8 months. And I just wanted you all to hear her, in her words, how she's found coaching with me because I think I know the power of coaching. I have my opinion about it, but I think when you hear other people's way of describing it and their experience, it just might land a bit different, maybe inspire some of you to take action, should that be what you need right now. But basically, we're just going to have a conversation about your journey. And my battery light has just started flashing. That is very inconvenient. Hang on a minute. Hear me? Can you still hear me? Okay, cool. So the sound might not be so good on my end because my battery pack has just died with my microphone. So if my husband starts singing in the background, you're going to have him on this as well. So we're going with life's imperfections today, Zita. Hello.
Hello.
So we've already had a little discussion. We've already done the how are yous today. So we've gone past all of that. So do you want to maybe start by telling me, if you can remember, what you were like pre-coaching and what kind of started you thinking, actually, I think coaching might be something I want to try?
Well, I hadn't actually planned to do any coaching with you. It kind of happened.
Yeah.
So I remember seeing you talk at Women Mean Biz. Um, you were doing a talk about whatever it was you were talking about, and I just remember you very confident and impactful. I just remember you from then, and then we met networking in our group, and we had a one-to-one. Well, it was the time that my mum had died, and so I was feeling quite discombobulated really anyway, but I hadn't planned on coaching, and we just had that chat, and I just remember thinking, yeah, it feels, I think I want to work with Nikki. And I just, yeah, totally hadn't planned it. So whatever that conversation was, I can't remember what it was. It just felt like, yeah, this is what I need to do. I've never really had a coach, to be honest. And so, yeah, so I just was feeling a little bit stuck. Lots going on. I mean, it was obviously a time of change with mum passing away and things. So, yeah, and we've just kind of over the months we've touched lots of different areas. It wasn't like there was one big thing that I wanted to go through, and I've learned a lot. The more you do, the more you learn, and you don't know what you don't know, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, there's definitely. I say now, I'd think, what would Nikki say? Because you don't give me the answers, that's for sure. Damn it.
That would be
So
so easy for us, wouldn't it?
yeah, so I've been challenged, and it's been good because I've been challenged to really think. And I remember you saying to me, you look after your physical body really well, but you don't really spend time, you don't seem to have spent time um, ever really thinking about your emotional health as such.
Mm.
And it's true, no one's ever really talked to me about that, never really done it. And it's really quite difficult, I think. Um, just, there were things you were asking me where I might feel something in my body, and it's like, actually, I don't really know. So yeah, it's been challenging, and you have to put the work in. And I haven't been perfect at doing that, but I've definitely feel like I've got some really good tools now, and I do stop and think.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I can kind of come up with the answer because I've had to. You show me how to be thinking about things and come up with the answer really. Um, and but one thing I was going to say was, for me, it's been really good to have somebody there. We all need someone to be accountable to, and we've done some actual quite practical things, haven't we? And that's
Mm.
been really useful for the accountability. So yeah, so it's been kind of a real mixture of things.
Yeah. Yeah, because I do feel for you, we're not going to go into any personal details, are we, in this podcast, but I do feel like we have touched on quite a number of different areas
Yeah,
in your life. We've done
yeah,
very, like you say, very practical process driven things,
yeah,
and then we've also done mindset and emotions.
yeah.
Um, I'm curious, when you say it was challenging and it's difficult, in what way is it challenging?
Because it's like something I've never done.
Yeah.
And a bit like, if I'm working with someone to get them to do some strength training, if they've never done it, it's going to feel challenging. And if it didn't, they wouldn't make progress. And there's no, you need to be doing things that are challenging you to keep progressing forward. So whether it's an emotional or a physical thing. So yeah, to really think about like, you know, oh, what do I feel? Or what are my beliefs on this thing? Or maybe things like stopping and, in fact, stopping and thinking about something and not just doing it,
Yeah.
um, is also can be a challenge when you've just gone through your life doing and not really stopping and thinking about certain things or really feeling it in your body.
Yeah.
So yeah, the unfamiliar things really, and just learning something like anything, like learning new skills. It
Yeah.
takes time and practice, and I definitely I'm still practicing things and still getting
Yeah.
better at things.
Yeah.
Um,
And I love how you've said any learning any new skill. I really do think that the process of getting coached is also learning the skill of managing your own mind and your own emotions. I really believe that it's a skill that no one teaches us.
no,
It is available to all of us.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and it doesn't necessarily take time in the traditional sense of hours, minutes, but it takes consciousness. It takes very deliberate consciousness to check yourself, give yourself that moment to go, hang on a minute, how am I feeling? What is this belief that's just come up?
Mm.
What has been the impact of you learning that for yourself?
Um, that I can control things. I've always been aware that we we react to certain things in the world, don't we? We all react differently. But I suppose it's just that I can maybe change my state, I suppose, in a way by really just stopping and thinking how I feel.
Yeah.
Let's just use just a funny example of packing. My I've tried to tell myself that I enjoy packing for holidays and things. And I remember you saying, because really I hate it. Um,
Mm.
and I just remember you saying, I don't have to necessarily love it, but I can be neutral about it. It's like, okay, it's just packing. And I can learn to be like, okay, I can deal with that. Which sounds really ridiculous and really simple, but sometimes you just need to really think about it in a different way.
Yeah.
And that's just one example really of something that seems small, but it can really affect so much more. So
Well, especially if you like going away and you like having your weekends away and you like going on holidays. I always think it's fascinating when people go, oh, yeah, but that's really minor and insignificant. But actually, when they shift, even if it's just to neutral,
yeah,
it has such a nicer impact on your day to
yeah,
day. And it's
yeah,
actually the small, what seems insignificant things make the biggest impact when we shift them.
yeah. And I'd not really heard of that about making something neutral.
Yeah.
You know, think realizing that it doesn't have to be great,
Yeah.
um, and that you can just not dislike it anymore, but it can be neutral. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
that's fantastic, and that can be
Yeah.
on anything, can't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I love that. So, what do you think was an unexpected kind of bonus when you've learned having learned? like mind and emotional management?
Well, I'm just going to come back to a practical example, really, of like you've helped me get rid of declutter. Actually, let's go back. Say something else. So, trying to look at the way I manage my diary is one thing, and I am old school paper girl.
Yeah,
And I'm not entirely sure this is your question, but anyway, I remember you saying like trying to get it online, etc. That reminding me that my brain is not going to like it because it's new and that it's not threatening, but my brain will feel like that. Uh,
yeah,
and I'm not 100% convinced whether I'm a paper girl or not, so the jury's out. But as you pointed out, anything is going to feel uncomfortable while you're transitioning, and
yeah,
your body's trying to do, your brain's doing everything to protect you, even if it is just trying to protect that little paper diary that you love so much.
yeah,
So that's just one thing. But in terms of letting go of things, it was easier to let go of things when you kind of challenged me, I suppose, to really ask deep down, do I really need this thing I'm trying to let go of, whatever it is?
mm,
And it was a lot easier to do with someone there really questioning you. But I still did it. Yeah, I've
yeah,
still done the work. You've just been there in your very down to earth approach, which is what I like. No fluff. At helping me get stuff done. So it's been really, yeah, I feel like I've made progress with a lot of
yeah.
things.
Brilliant. And what has been the impact of that progress on you?
Well, I've got more momentum now. So, rather than feeling blocked and stuck by XYZ, I can see where I can do things. And if I'm not doing them, that's down to me. But I've got the tools and the skills um and the kind of evidence that I can do these things.
Yeah,
So that's just really useful, and I've got I've got all the notes of everything we've gone through, because not everything is in my head. I still
yeah,
kind of process it and certain things, so I've got that at any time to refer back onto as well. So if I get
yeah,
stuck,
yeah.
yeah, I think that's.
Amazing. So how would you describe your coaching journey?
I didn't know what I was getting into. Oh, I just went, yeah, really.
Attached to that decision? Or
um
did you just know that that's something you wanted to experience?
no, I always trust my gut, totally.
Mm,
Totally. I just knew it just felt right. It just felt right, really. People by people. So, the same conversation with someone that I didn't really feel right with, I may not have had coaching, and I
yeah,
might still be where I was. So, um, yeah, I just kind of, I suppose, it is a pivotal thing. Losing your mum is quite a pivotal thing.
yeah,
And that's, maybe it was meant to be.
yeah, yeah,
And you've taught me it's okay to feel emotions, and I don't have a problem. Like, I don't have a problem crying, and I've cried a lot over the last 12 months.
yeah.
Um, and there's not a problem, really. But sometimes, really describing your emotions. I think we all kind of know what sadness is, but there's
Mm,
other emotions we can't always label them. And I remember you going through one thing about different emotions that you could have, and I just thought, my God, I never really thought about any of these words, or
yeah,
it's not been in my world because no one's ever taught it to me.
yeah, yeah. And what I think is so powerful about grief, I mean, we're not going to get into this conversation now, but unless you want to, of course, but what is so powerful about grief? I heard once that it's the only negative emotion fueled by love. It's because we love, and I've talked about this a lot on the podcast. It's because we loved someone so deeply that it's so appropriate to feel love. Like that's how we act, like grief, sorry, to feel grief. It is a sign of love that we grieve them and we miss them. And yeah, especially in England, it's kind of like that, oh no, must, I'm fine, must crack on type. And I just think it's bollocks because, you love them, give yourself permission to grieve them. That's appropriate, that's normal, that's effective, it's pure, it's um there's a word that's not quite coming to me, but if it pops into my head, I'll say it then. But it's deliberate. That's how, and giving yourself permission to sit with it is actually so much easier than trying to avoid it or push it down or
Yeah,
I'll do it later because later never comes. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's so good. Okay. So if you were to so this might be tricky. I should have prepped you on this question actually. Um, if you were to sum up coaching with me in 3 words, what instant 3 words comes to your mind?
Real,
Yeah.
like no fluff. Fun. And that's important to me. It's one of my values. That's important to me. And effective.
I love those.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, fun. I love that you said real because I do think, that's why I share the fact that my son's giant, huge fucking
yeah.
Snorlax teddy is behind me because that's real. Do I want it in my lounge? No. Is it in my lounge? Yes. So real is something that I purposely, it's why I don't edit my podcast because real to me is making mistakes, forgetting the word or, losing track of or going off on a tangent. Like that is real. But fun's really interesting, isn't it? Because I wonder if a lot of people might be a little bit put off by coaching because it sounds a bit too heavy and like therapy like and counseling and and actually that's
It's not at all. It's
it's
nothing like
not, is it?
that. No, no,
I
no.
would say it's not unusual in our sessions for people to cry, and it's also not unusual for us to burst out laughing at something.
Yeah. Well, whenever I try to say I don't know the answer to something, which is not an answer, then yeah, that was a fun moment. But yeah, no, it's not heavy. I mean, you tailor it to what the person, don't you?
Yeah, yeah.
No.
And even if when I've got a client in front of me and they're really struggling with an emotion, um, giving them permission and space to look at that emotion, to feel that emotion, knowing that it's harmless, knowing that I've got them, I'm okay with their emotions. They then become okay with their emotions. I think that's where the freedom comes in, knowing you have a choice over what you think or what you're choosing to believe, and then being okay with your emotions, then we don't need to hide from anything. And I think that's huge. So this is going to be funny if the answer's no. Are you glad you invested in coaching?
Yeah, I am. Yes, I am.
Can you imagine if you went, no, shit, don't do it.
I am. And it is, it's a considerable investment. You've got to want to do it.
Yeah.
You've got to do it for a reason. So yeah, no, I am. And I would definitely say that someone could come and talk to you and just find out if you're the right fit for them,
Yes.
whether they think coaching is something they want to do or not, or whether you're the right fit. Just have a chat because,
Yeah.
um, like I said, I didn't expect to. So maybe you've got a magic spell. I don't know.
Oh, I do think I do have some magic about me, but given that my boys are really taking the piss out of me at the moment because I do see myself as a witch. And I have a lot of trauma around that, like putting my wisdom out into the world and showing the world my knowledge, because I was burnt at the stake for that like generations ago. And so the fact that I've shared that with my boys and they've just gone, oh my God, you're a witch, or they take the piss out of me being a hippie. I'm like, I'm not a hippie, I'm a witch. But it's the side I haven't quite explored too much, but it's definitely there. I mean, you've got energy about you. We all have. It's
Mm.
just at what extent we're aware of it or use it or channel it or whatever. I'm going to do more podcasts with more spiritual experts because it's not an area of my expertise at all yet. And we will be doing a podcast together on your actual business related stuff because Zita is, well, you tell us how you would describe yourself.
So I'm a health wellbeing and fitness coach for women over 40 predominantly. I'm passionate about getting women outdoors, number one, getting them moving, getting them to breathe and to learn to relax, connect. Community is a huge thing for me. So yeah, so retreats, online classes, boot camp outdoors, and other bits and pieces really. So
Yeah.
well, it's all that really, inspiring health and
Right.
well-being.
Yes. So look out in September, October time because Zita's going to come back and join me and we're going to talk about the professional side of your expertise, aren't we?
Yeah.
But if someone was listening and they were on the fence about whether coaching was right for them, I mean, you've already sort of summed this up a little bit anyway, but what would you say to someone that was considering coaching with me?
Well, if they think that they could do it on their own, whatever it is their problem, or their challenge, whatever they're getting stuck with, why have they not done it already?
Yeah.
Or have they had another coach and it didn't work? Oh, so maybe some people have had coaching and they just think, oh, it's not for me. But I think everyone is different, so that's that's where you shouldn't rule something out. It's a bit like exercise, isn't it? Oh, I hate the gym. Well, the gym is nothing like what I do with people, for example. So
Yeah.
yeah, wherever someone's come from. But I just think have a chat, you just talk it through, find out really. And I trust my gut. So if you,
Yeah.
I think we all should,
Yeah.
don't be, it's there for a reason. So
Yeah.
have a chat with Nikki and yeah, see what you think really.
Thank you so much. Is there anything that you want to say that we haven't sort of covered?
I don't think so. I didn't prepare. You didn't prepare.
Just think it's such to me, it's more of an authentic conversation when you don't have I mean,
Yeah,
I did have a couple, normally I don't have any questions, but I did think actually if this was specifically around coaching, what do we kind of want to know, the before, the after, what was the biggest impact?
yeah,
But having you not knowing those questions, you give an instant, honest, whatever comes up answer, and it sounds so much more natural, and I just love it for that reason.
yeah. So thank you for your help.
You are so well. Thank you very much for trusting me because I think especially when you sort of know someone beforehand to actually step into that because the way that I see it is quite clear in my head. I'm Nikki as a friend, when I see you networking, I don't,
Mhm.
and other people that I coach that are friends and we go out for lunch or whatever, I don't bring the coaching conversation up. If they do, great, I'm happy to talk about it. But I don't, like, to me, it's two very separate things. I'm Nikki as a friend and I'm Nikki as a coach. Um, so it's for me it's very and that's my profession. It's like when you go to a GP, isn't it? If you go and see a GP and then you bump to them in Tesco's, they don't generally start chatting to you about your ailments in Tesco's, do you? That's the professional side of my craft. But I can see how it might be a bit awkward or perhaps uncomfortable for someone to go, oh well, I kind of know Nikki. I'm not sure that I want to get into that relationship with her, which is why I am always so honored when people do come and trust me because you are like people tell me stuff that they would not tell anybody else, and
Yeah, yeah.
I'm so privileged that people are willing to trust me in that capacity. So thank you so much for your trust.
And like me with what I do, you're passionate about it, and
Yes.
it's from the heart. You've got to go with someone who is, and yeah.
Yes.
So I would definitely recommend having a chat.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So if you have liked Zita's energy, listen out for our podcast together, which will be sometime in September or October. Um, I will put all of her details to connect to her anyway, because if you are local or you want to do some online stretch or all the other different things, then you can look Zita up. But do keep an eye out for when we actually talk about your business rather than mine, because I'm looking forward to that too.
Thank you.
So thank you very much for joining me, and I will speak to you all next week. Mwah. Bye.